to introduce Twin Charade, a Canadian duo that with their debut album, The Circus, will take you to a place where your imagination can run wild. Let's hear more about this extraordinary duo. How did Twin Charade come about? How did you guys find each other?
Before Twin Charade, we used to play in the band which called The Weird and the Wonderful. So there was three person in the band. It was me, Josh, and the other guy who's a drummer, Mario. So we it started off with me and Mario just jamming around, trying to play something more like like Rush music or like Dream Theater, like progressive rock type. And we've been looking for a singer for that. And then Josh showed up. He's like, "Hey guys, are you still auditioning? I would like to try it out." And yeah, sure enough, like he was a very good candidate. And like it took us maybe like a week to actually approve Josh, because what caught our attention was the character behind his singing. And because when he sings, he acts, and that's a rarity.
I was telling Josh that his voice reminds me like if Meatloaf and Freddie Mercury and Adam Lambert had a kid, it would be Josh, because his voice is spectacular.
I agree.
The way that you go in and you're just kind of deep and dark, almost Marilyn Manson-ish, and then you could sing opera, like you could sing anything.
Well, I'm trying. I'm expanding more and more, and it's fun to explore and experiment. And like that's what's been so great about our project, is that like Alex and I love such a wide array of music. Oh, I'm smacking my mic here. Such a wide array of music that we are not afraid to like try on a different genre and see how it can fit into the sound. So like of any project I've been a part of or anything I try to do, like Twin Charade seems to be the environment where we can test out all the styles we love. And so it's been fun.
Me and Josh were just like sitting together one day, like talking, okay, what should we do? Like, do we carry on, or like, this is it? Like, what should we do? And then we kind of like, you know what? Have you heard about the band named Korn? Like, yeah, sure. So they had a very good collaboration with that DJ. What's his name? Josh, what's the name of that?
Skrillex.
Skrillex, yes. Mm. So they had very interesting, like one song that they put together, and we thought, okay, what if we do like something drastic as well? And then we started to put ideas together, and that's how Inabayasa was invented.
What does it mean?
Oh, ask Josh. That's his department.
Josh, what does Inabayasa mean?
Inabayasa, yeah. Well, the word itself is obviously non-existent in any language. It's not any particular language. It is a product of a phenomenon known as glossolalia, or otherwise known as speaking in tongues. It comes from a place that is not of this place, and to describe it best, it would be an expression of primal and carnal desire, something rooted deep in our animalistic nature as humans that can only be expressed through this word. Yeah, the definition expands to however you feel it.
You guys, have created something, that's so spectacular. I mean, Alex's guitar riffs are just magnificent. guys are like so cool. Can
Thank
we,
you. That's too
discuss?
much. That's too much.
All right, guys, let's talk about the circus. This is your very first album, so how are you feeling?
I think we're taking it day by day. We didn't expect to have a full album out at this time. We wanted to, but it was really this whole pandemic situation that kind of gave way to that possibility. So we're excited to be where we are now, I think.
I would like to add is that this album was created for a certain purpose for the listeners. And what I mean is that we have a very fast life and we don't have time for ourselves, for our kids, we just simply don't have enough time. And that's sad because we keep forgetting how to live in the moment. So what we were trying to do in this album is to create songs that would develop when you listen to these songs, these are like develop certain images in your head. And when you close your eyes, you sit, you listen, and it's like you're watching a movie, basically. So it's not just the emotional triggers, but that's very cinematic type of music. And again, that's we try to achieve that through Josh's performances and through certain aspects in music, certain elements that emphasize the cinematic part. But our message is basically try to find the time for yourselves. And if you are in arts, in any sort of arts, just relax for a moment, sit, put on your headphones or sit in front of your speakers and just try to enjoy the moment. The essence of life is in the moment. And when you get there, you will see all the images that coming out in your head and you're basically watching a movie. And that's a very great sensation.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Is that what brought you to Thriller? Like just, thinking Halloween time and, just making this real different version of that song, because everybody's heard Michael Jackson's version. I've never heard it like that before. And it just took me to a different place. And then, of course, seeing the video of it, I was like, what the heck is attacking them? But it's all within our imagination. Yeah, you start to breathe. As hope looks you right between your eyes. You're better liar. 'Cause this is thriller. Thriller night. No one's gonna save. The beast of fact. You know it's thriller. So how did you guys, were you guys just talking to each other and saying, let's do Thriller? How did that come about?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
I swear I wasn't in the room,
Yeah.
I wasn't like listening in.
That's very accurate, and we've wanted to do it for several years. Actually, like we performed it on a stage once several years ago on Halloween. On Halloween night, we performed on a stage downtown Toronto, that cover, and Alex came up with that really cool new guitar part, which is not in the original Thriller at all. And the original performance we had like, different percussive setup and everything, but this new production fit the Twin Charade style. So yeah, we laid it down in one night and that was it. Yeah, exactly as you said.
Were you guys together or were you separate when you recorded it?
Just over the phone, yeah, and then with our own personal equipment.
Wow. See, that's fantastic. Like that is, I mean, that's really terrific that you're able to do that technology, man. Like it's amazing. Wow, it's impressive.
It is a blessing. It really is. It's a marvel. Really, it is.
Well, how are you guys doing with this pandemic thing? Are you guys are okay? Everybody's at home safe. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good. So I would say, in spiritual way, this pandemic affected me a lot because it made me think, maybe not to think, but just to make a shift in my thinking on what is more important. Because in our pursuit for happiness, we tend, not always, but we tend to look outside. But when you look inside, that's when you realize, now I get it. Okay, that's the way to go. And so that's like internal source of happiness, spreads over your environment and changes the reality, which is really cool. And that's exactly what Josh said. That's how the whole album was ready to go, because our original plan was to do singles and accompany those singles with media on Instagram and Facebook, like what we did for Inabayasa and for Mona Lisa's Eyes.
Mhm.
But then, because of the isolation, it wasn't feasible anymore, and we just carry on with the music, and it went so naturally, and the circumstances was like everything was right, and right timing, right places, right people, everything, and voila.
Have you thought of turning the circus into maybe a film, kind of like The Wall?
You're revealing our plans, basically.
Am I really? I'm so in sync with you guys. See, it's
Yes,
the twin thing.
That's true.
I have twins,
It's
so
true.
twin charade,
That's very true. That's like, yeah, even the fact that you bring that up goes to show that you like this music and our whole theme syncs with you. Like you get what we're trying to do, and you're on board for it, which is fantastic. And yeah, we'd love to do something like that, even for our stage performances. Like, we always build with like the idea of a musical in mind, something not entirely like a standard band gig. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just that this style of music would lend itself to more theatrics, and to have something in a cinematic format would absolutely be desirable to us, and something we've been working on here and there.
How was your experience with producing your own music?
Having a producer and be self-produced, it depends on the results, or maybe on the goal that you want to go to. For me and Josh, because we have a certain, not that we developed a certain vision for the music and for the band and for the performance. So, and if we produce ourselves, then we can adjust and change and design like every little aspect of what we feel is right for this, because it's all about collaboration. If you go to the producer has their own vision on how it's going to look like, how it's going to sound like. So that basically means to invite another person on board and share the idea and give that person a space or room for creativity. Otherwise, it won't work. So that was a deliberate move for me and Josh. So we thought, okay, this first album we're gonna do on our own because we know exactly what we see. But going further, when we collaborate with other producers or other musicians or different artists, at least we have some sort of not a guidance, but maybe an example. Hey, this is what we look like. That's what our vision is. And if that resonates with you, yeah, you're like welcome on board. We would love to collaborate on a song or a dance or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, we just want to say that, and this year especially, the way we've spoken about our album is that we want it to be a collaborative effort. So the music doesn't just stop as soon as it's released and streaming. It continues on in the same way that with all our previous tracks, we've expanded and done, photo series, or we've done stories, and other artists have drawn pictures that were inspired by the songs. Is we want the songs to be, the core, like the beginning, but we want it to branch off and start bringing in other artists, and we'd love to share them on our page and see who we could work with and see what our album inspires in them. That's been like a recurring theme for us over the year.
anybody of your dream collaboration that you both want to work with?
We haven't thought about this yet.
Cirque du Soleil.
Good point.
We're looking to see if maybe we could share the program with high school kids and maybe middle school kids that are in the arts that want to, you know, try their hand at putting a band together. What would be your expert advice for them? What would you say if you had them in front of you?
So I used to be a teacher a long time ago, so to my observation, it's teachers and teaching personnel just in general. These are people who creates the environment that inspires kids for certain activities. So we are responsible as grown-ups. We're responsible to create this atmosphere so kids would want to participate in something like that. So
well, you know, that's something that Alex and I have been talking about a lot this year, in terms of just everyone, regardless of whether or not you consider yourself an artist. Everyone has that artistic flame inside of them somewhere. They do, whether it manifests in writing or singing, any which way it does. We really want, as Twin Charade, to encourage people to express that, to do it, whether or not it's in a professional academy or not, or whether or not they're being paid for it, just to do it some way, somehow, for their family, for their friends, on social media. You need to express that part of yourself. Everybody, no one's exempt.
Okay, so I've got a little game that I want to play with you guys. Okay.
All right.
It's called Who Is. All right, so put your thinking caps on. It's really tough. Who out of the two of you is the most perfectionist?
Who's answering?
Either one. Who out of the two of you is?
wow,
Alex.
That's a tough question.
I know.
Because I think Josh is.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I would say
Go ahead.
perfection in different areas.
Who's the most active on social media?
Josh.
Who is the most fun?
Alex.
Josh.
You know what? That's funny because I really thought that you guys were going to say each other. So, because you wouldn't be a duo if you didn't think that.
Fair.
That was interesting. Nobody ever asked us these questions.
I really appreciate you guys, spending some time with me and talking about Twin Charade. They can find you guys on Instagram.
Yep, at Twin Charade.
At Twin Charade, and anywhere else, guys.
You can find us on YouTube. Our videos are up under Press Play Productions, and we've got our 2 music videos live and more to come on the way, certainly next year.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys, Josh, Alex. It's been amazing. I cannot wait for the album to drop and, go on this journey in the circus. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rebecca.
Take care.